Today we're playing Silver Surfer on the NES until we win. The Silver Surfer is one of the more loved characters of the Marvel Universe. He's the embodiment of true freedom, the ability to go anywhere and do anything. He wields the power cosmic, the ability to manipulate the very energy of the universe itself. He can create or repair anything. He can travel to almost anywhere in the universe in an instant. He doesn't need to eat, breathe, or sleep. He can augment his physical strength with the power cosmic to be as strong as he needs to be. He is the Silver Surfer, and if he touches anything, he dies. This game is hard. Really hard. It's probably one of the top 5 most difficult games ever created. Let's get started. You die a lot in this game, but there are some power-ups along the way to help you out. You get power-ups from different enemies, and they're sometimes just placed randomly around the board. You can get bombs, flying orbs, and added strength. The strength is pretty simple. It makes your weapons slightly stronger. The flying orbs are just like the option power-up in most shoot-'em-ups. By the way, why does every shoot-'em-up have these flying assistant orbs? And how come they're always called option? There's actually a trick to playing this game. You cannot die. Every time you die, you lose your power-ups. Now, you could get by the first 2 stages with minimal power. The difficulty only ramps up in the other stages, and you're going to be pulling your hair out. If you die, I honestly think you're better off just resetting the game and trying again. It is that fucking important. Alright, here's another tip. The game does not like it when players sit back and let enemies come to them. You're actually better off getting in the middle of the screen and killing enemies as soon as they pop up on the screen than letting them come to you, because they follow some of the most erratic and chaotic patterns I've ever seen in my life. Here's my final tip for you. Don't bother playing this game. This game is just insane. I don't know who it was made for, but it obviously wasn't the average human being. This game is sadistic. You know, for as difficult as the levels are, the bosses are insultingly easy. I mean, you can sit in one place and just wail away on the bosses until they're dead. Except for the occasional boss where you have to avoid a projectile. It's oddly disappointing. The first level, Reptile, is relatively easy compared to the rest of the game. There aren't any traps you need to avoid. The only thing you really need to remember is that you can't touch anything, so don't touch the walls. God, don't touch the walls. Other than that, you can just blow through the entire level. Firelord, the next level in succession, really ramps up the difficulty. The first section of this stage is actually the infamous overhead level where you can't touch the ground and instead you have to fly over a river of shit. Now honestly, if you don't have both orbs in this level, I'd really recommend you just restart and beat Reptile again, mostly because you need both orbs to shoot diagonally. And it really comes in handy, especially when arms are coming up in very tight, narrow diagonal spaces. The second section is a pain. In addition to worrying about touching the walls and killing enemies, you need to dodge fireballs coming from the ground, lava dropping from the ceiling, pumpkins coming out of the lava at random intervals, and there's this one bitch of a timed lava drop that you need to dodge under, and, well, just look at it. Yeah, that took some time to master. The final stage leads up to the boss, and it can be a real pain. You need to dodge lava, birds, and what appear to be toenail clippings. In any case, you don't have full power in this stage, you're gonna hate life. It's that simple. That second weapon that shoots from underneath Silver Surfer may not seem really important, but my god does it help in this stage. You know, for as difficult as the level can be, the boss is exceptionally easy if you have the flying orb. All you have to do is sit in a corner and wail away on him until he's dead. Alright, the next stage, Possessor, really ramps up the difficulty. It doesn't have traps like in Firelord's level, but my god, the number of enemies and bullets on screen is just ridiculous. The first stage is difficult. This is where you're going to need to master the use of the flying orb, or you're going to die. You need to make the orb shoot down and take out some of the cannons and the turrets that shoot exploding heads. I don't know what these are. I mean, it's a cannon that shoots green heads that explode and shoot 2 bullets. Don't look at me. The second stage, in my opinion, is when the game crosses over from difficult to maddening. The stage is like a maze where you can't touch the stone walls, and some sections of the level are timed so that if you're not at a certain Y position on the screen at a certain time, you're dead. So sitting back and trying to pick off enemies is almost impossible. Did you see that? Look again. Did you see that gate closing? Look at that thing. It's a death trap. If you just sit back and let the level progress normally, the game kills you. Fuck. The third section of this level, I think, is when the game requires that you have full power and a flying orb. At least I've never been able to beat it without full power. If you're lucky, you can park yourself in the lower portion of the screen and just avoid the sperm being shot at your face while you blow through the boss. Wow. I can't believe I actually said that. The next stage is Emperor, and my god, I think the developers lost their minds with this one. Missiles fly at you, turrets suddenly shoot in 3 directions, moving turrets corner you with a barrage of gunfire. Oh man, this level is hard. The only advice I can give you is to play the hell out of this level until you know where everything is. I must have played through this level 6 times before I beat the mini-boss, and I still die all the time trying to get past it. God! The second section is a little easier, but not by much. I mean, look at this background. And then consider that the bullets are brown. I mean, that's like jumping in a pool and trying to not get wet. Ugh. Again, this level is all about playing the hell out of it and making damn sure you keep your flying orb and full power. I can't stress that enough. Without the orb, this level becomes one big giant brown death trap. The final section is, well, surprisingly easy. Assuming you have the flying orb, you really don't need to avoid any obstacles or enemies because you fly directly to the boss, which is a wall that shoots a ton of bullets at you. Basically, the strategy here is that you hit your turbo button and you never let go. The next stage is Mephisto. Somebody lost control of something when they designed this level. I mean, this is nuts. In the first section, you need to avoid a ton of ghosts that like to pop out of doors and fly right up under you. Then there are these night things that jump all the way up to the top of the screen for no discernible reason. There's some weird-looking eye-shaped things that move too fast to kill reliably, and gargoyles. Let me take a moment to talk about the gargoyles. I hate these fucking things. I hate the developer that made these fucking things. If I ever meet the guy who created the most erratic and irrational pattern in the world of gaming shoot-em-ups, I think I'm gonna kill him, and then send his corpse to Eidos Montreal, as a reminder that they better not fuck up Thief 4. Or Thiaf, as it's aptly named, because 4 equals A and not E, because that's 3. Learn to leet speak, fuckers. Alright, now that I got that out of my system, Mephisto's second section is no easier. You have to avoid cannons, green blobs, bats, skulls, red skulls, hands growing out of what appear to be seriously messed up vaginal hair, and eyes that like to pop up out of nowhere and kill you for no good reason, other than the fact that the developers hate you. Oh yeah, and the last part of this level? It's impossible without full power and both orbs. In the third section, you fight what appear to be mice. You shoot the mouse, it shoots back at you, you shoot it again, it splits into multiple mice, all the mice shoot at you, and you die. Eventually, you come to this big head, which I assume is Mephisto's head, and you shoot him in the jaw. Yeah, I had no idea Mephisto had a glass jaw. before we go any further, I think we need to address the topic of madness and what it truly is. You see, up until this point, you've had enemies that you could predict reliably what their patterns are going to be. Even if in some sections they've been completely random, you've still been able to avoid them. That is up until now. Welcome to the final level in Silver Surfer, the Magic Domain, where you get to fight gargoyles, ghosts, top hats, and frisbees. Now, up until this point in the game, the difficulty has been following pretty much a steady logarithmic curve. Unfortunately, we've seemed to have lost the curve and found ourselves on a completely different piece of graph paper. This level isn't hard. It's ludicrous. Oh, and by the way, you only get 3 continues. Ha 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 ha. The first section of the stage is evil. You have to dodge a whole bunch of top hats and what I can only assume are frisbees. And then you're presented with the single most insane section of shmup dodging I've ever seen in my life. Seriously, this part is fucked. I've never, ever, 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 ever had to dodge anything as insidious in this. These damn frisbees, God! Once you get past the frisbees of death, you have to dodge the single most annoying group of ghosts I've ever encountered in my life. I mean, look at this. They just jump out at you from nowhere. Basically what the game is telling you is that you've not only got to dodge an insane number of frisbees, but you gotta do it at the back half of the screen, otherwise you're dead. Once you get past that death trap, you have to fight the mini-boss, a ghost. And after all of that, he's a joke. You'd think with a level as difficult as that, they'd have a decency to give you a challenging boss. So, now on to the second section, and you'd better have the patience of a saint, because if you try to take this section fast, you're gonna die. Oh, let's be honest with ourselves, you're gonna die anyway. This is a mess. I mean, God, why are there Lego bricks with needles of instant death sticking out of them, floating in the middle of space? I mean, what are these machines that spit out blobs from Dragon Warrior? What the hell happened here? Did some kid go crazy with crayons? And why is Silver Surfer fighting a lobster? I mean, why is Silver Surfer, intergalactic demigod, fighting a space lobster? Isn't that the domain of Captain Kirk? Anyway, you get to the third level and literally breeze through it. Although the reason why half-dead green elephants spitting silver metallic crap onto glass even exist, let alone you're trying to dodge them, that really escapes me right now. Finally, you're up to the last boss of the game. A big purple ape with a gun that shoots cannonballs. Oh, finally. This game literally took me a month solid of playing to beat it, and my God, is it hard. And is that a password? This game has passwords? Did I miss something? I mean, it's not like at the end of Mega Man where you get a password at the end of every stage. You only get it when you beat the game, and how do I even enter the password? I mean, there's no password screen. You know what? It's one of those games. Yeah, you have to use both controllers to get to the screen. You press up on both of them. So what does the password do? A harder difficulty? A harder difficulty. Are the developers out of their minds? A harder difficulty? Why does this game need to be harder? I mean, what sick psychotic fuck playtested this and said, yeah, you know what, dying all the time's alright, but I wish the game killed me more? God. That just means I haven't beaten the game yet. Oh, God damn it. Well, I say we strap ourselves in and ride this bitch to the end. Yeah! Beat it on a hard mode. What now? What? Another password. What the hell does this one do?